Hello everybody, welcome to Ringer Ollie's best moments from season 1. So as you are aware, at the moment we've kind of taken a halt in making videos so I can prepare for the release of season 2, which as of recording I'm currently planning for release about the end of November. But I thought today we would just have a look back on my favourite moments, or my favourite towers, from season 1. Let's get into it. First up is LongWhittenum. They have really interesting Room 6, and at the time we just couldn't get it into our minds why they sounded odd. But it turns out they're tuned 2 to 7 of 10, so they just sound wrong as a ring of 6. But as you got into the method, you didn't really notice it. They kind of grew on us, which was really interesting. So here's a clip of LongWhittenum.
It doesn't sound right, does it?
Nice possessed, isn't it?
I don't know, when you have the home notes for right, it's the 3. That's slightly flatter. Right? Lane Bob Martin.
He's the little ones on the table, bringing fun, and you are on boxes. Look at this. I look ridiculous. I now know how step feels.
This is all.
I just find it, I don't think I've ever been in a box on my life, obviously apart from ringing on 12s and things.
This is quite comical that the business ones on the table.
I love it.
You're just doing on boxing.
Yeah, the little ones are fun.
Next up is the Greek Orthodox Church of St. Andrew in Torquay. First of all, this place sticks out for me because not only is it that they have a set of change ringing bells in a Greek church, but also it's kind of got a bit of a warm place in my heart because I was the last person to ring on the tenor before it became unringable. I specifically said, you might hear it in the video, something feels loose, or something along those lines, and it turns out actually it was inspected a couple of weeks later and it was really loose on the headstock, and that's when it became unringable. So this has got a little warm place in my heart. So here's some video of St. Andrew's Greek Church in Torquay.
Yes, I noticed 7-hunk minor.
Better than you thought I would do, surely.
Yeah, it was actually. Three more miss catching rounds. 1, 2, 3. Catch! No speeder.
The tenor sounds similar to the redundant tenor at Ogwell.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Next up is St Mary the Virgin in Ashford. They've got a ring of 10 bells, and I think the church's setting in the middle of the town, they have the old rustic sound to them, even though they're a relatively modern, as things go, a relatively modern ring of 10. But I think they are in the most perfect location, and the bells they've got the right sound for the setting they are in. And I think when you get them bells going, and they really, really are a nice ring of 10. I really do like them. Here's a clip of Ashford.
9 to 7, 8 to 9.
Next up is Drayton St Leonard in Oxfordshire. This ring of bells stick out to me because they were the last ever ring of bells, or last ever full peal of bells, cast by the Whitechapel Bell Foundry in 2016. They're a really nice ring, although when you get about halfway up during ringing up or ringing down, the clappers go completely bonkers. Half of them stop and then they go all a bit late and then early. But by the time you get them up or down, they're fine. It's just in the middle they go a bit bonkers. Anyway, Drayton St Leonard.
That means up in one.
That's good.
Next up is Lyd in Kent. They are a very nice, a quality ring of Gillet bells. They are a ring of 8. And what stood out about this tower for me was the fact that the ringing chamber is upstairs, but the floor of the ringing chamber is made of brick. That to me just stood out. I don't know whether it stood out to anyone else, but that's what I noticed about that tower. Anyway, enjoy Lyd. Next up is a church a little bit closer to home for me. It's Whitty Ham in East Sussex. They have a Taylor ring of 8. They are one of the nicest rings of bells in Sussex, and they've got a special place in my heart because I rang my first peal here, and the audio you're going to be hearing for the clip following this, sorry, there is no video footage. The video footage is awful, it's shaky, it's out of focus, it's dreadful. I'll overlay some pictures though. The audio you'll hear is from my first peal. They are an absolutely amazing ring of bells. Have a listen. Recognise it? Yeah, I thought you would. Turville in Buckinghamshire? It's right on the border. I think it's Buckinghamshire. Turville is known to a lot of ringers and tourists alike because it featured in The Vicar of Dibley, Goodnight Mr. Tom and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. And once again, this place has a special place in my heart because my granddad worked on Chitty Chitty Bang Bang in the village, and he actually died in the year I visited the church, so I felt appropriate to put this in here. They're a really nice ring of bells. They used to be a ring of 4, got augmented to 5, I think just before the turn of the millennium, and then they got augmented to 6 in 2017, 18? I'm not sure. I think it has an Eyes Bouts treble, and they were hung by Nicholson's. Turville, they go perfectly. I hope you didn't really think that I was going to forget this ring out. Maidstone, All Saints. I don't need to explain why I like these. The majority of ringers like these. They're a fantastic ring. They're nice, they're mellow, they really sing when you get outside. Well, they do now. They didn't used to. When I first rang there, before this video was taken, the acoustics were okay outside, and inside they were pretty grotty, but now they are perfect everywhere. They are a fantastic ring. Have a listen. There's no video again, but there's pictures. Enjoy. Next up is All Saints Church in Lindfield. We have had 2 sets of bells in that tower, well, since I've been ringing there. We've had the old set of bells, 2100 weight in E, and we've got the new set of bells, 900 weight in G sharp. The new set of bells has a bit of history behind them. They were the first, or are the first, full peal of bells cast by Wesley Group, and to date, as of recording, they are the only peal of bells cast by Wesley Group, or the only complete ring of bells cast by the Wesley Group. So I've got the old set and the new set, and I'm going to put them together, not at the same time, that would sound dreadful, a bit like the old bells. Enjoy. Goodness that's over. They were the most truly dreadful ring of bells. They were so difficult to ring. Thank goodness we've got new ones. We've got a brand new set of Wesley Bells. They weigh 900 weight, they're tuned to G sharp. Here's the Wesley Bells, the new ring. My favourite ring of bells, I've saved them to last. The ring of 12 hung in the Waterloo Tower at Quex Park. Before you start shouting at your screen, I feel I should explain why. When I was really young and I had just started learning to ring, one of the first towers I ever rung at, outside of my home tower when I was learning, was Quex Park. And the reason I like this ring so much is that my aunt, my great aunt, took us on a tour of Quex Park, and we were going around the grounds looking, and she had booked a tour called the Three Towers, where we went to the Round Tower, the Clock Tower and the Waterloo Tower. And as it happened, the day the tour was booked on was one of their ringing days, and we got to the Waterloo Tower, and just as we arrived they started ringing. So I was like, oh my goodness, I've got to have a go. So I ran ahead of the tour, and the only memory I have of ringing is that, one, the ropes were really close together. It's kind of, the inside of the tower is round, and I was standing on 6 boxes to reach the rope. That's the only memory I have of them, but the whole tour waited outside while I rang, and I quite like that, so that's kind of stuck in my mind. Anyway, Waterloo Tower, they're my favourite.
Friends ago. Once single.
Silliness.
Thank you very much for watching Ringer Ollie's best moments of season 1. I hope we have many more of these best moments in season 2. But for now, thanks for watching.